Hello, Happy New Year 2023. Boy, that came around fast, didn't it? I thought today we'd just have a little chat about Run Adventure, where it came from, looking back at 2022 and looking forward to 2023. Let me just start by saying hello to the new subscribers. I noticed we've got quite a few new subscribers. Hello, welcome. Please make sure you go and check out the website, runadventurer.co.uk, where you'll find a map with all the locations of the places we've been to on it. And you can then click through to watch the videos, but also get more information about the route and photos and a map and a GPX file if you want to go and visit yourself. I mean, with Run Adventurer, it's entertainment really, isn't it? Maybe you are a runner. You don't have to be a runner. You could be a walker. You might be neither. You just might find it relaxing to sit and watch at the end of the day. You might be on the other side of the world and you want to come and explore the UK countryside. Whatever, you're welcome. Okay, so what is Run Adventurer? Well, I've been running for about 30 years. I've never been a fast runner. So back in my 20s, I could run an 8-minute mile, 1:45, half marathon, something like that. Today in my 50s, now it's about 2 hour mile, about 10-minute mile-ish sort of pace I run. So nothing special. I'm nobody at all, really. For me, I'm one of that army of fun runners out there. People you'll see us out running down the road for fun because we enjoy it. For me, it's about getting out into the countryside. And I've always taken photos along the way and shared them. And then a few years ago, I did a virtual race. I follow another YouTuber, the Ginger Runner, and he does a global run virtual run where you can get involved. And one of the part of that was to do a virtual tour guide. And in doing that, I really wanted to show all these other people doing the race just how beautiful it is around where I live. So I did a video of it, and lots of people liked it. And I thought, well, if there's an interest in it, I could start filming my runs, and that's where it began. Now, from the start, I've looked at it as a business, really. I mean, I do it because I love it, and regardless of whether it's successful or not, I'm going to keep doing it. I've looked at it as, so my background, brought up in the 70s in Kelsall, before the discovery of the haircut, and quite a quiet sort of kid. In my teenage years, I was far too interested in alcohol and girls. Got a degree in chemistry, worked as a chemist for a few years, and then retrained myself and became a web developer. And I've been working for myself for 20 odd years now. And so I thought, can I take these skills and use them to create some entertainment, some content that people might enjoy? And that's what Run Adventure is. So as a YouTuber, there are several ways of making money out of it. So one is, if you get enough people watching your videos, YouTube, who stick adverts all over your videos regardless, will then start to give you some of that ad revenue money back. And so we've just hit over Christmas 1,000 subscribers, which is one of the goals you have to hit for them to start paying you. You have to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of people watching your content in a year. We're currently at about 3,300 hours of watching over the last the rolling 12 month period. So we're almost there. So at that point then, they'll start giving me some money. Also, I never really wanted to just rely on YouTube. So I've been doing exclusive content and early access to content and through Patreon. And so all my videos also go up on Vimeo, advert free, and it's all behind the paywall for the Patreon subscribers. They get the content straight away, whereas YouTube, it might be a month, 2 months, whatever. And also now I'm trying to do at least one exclusive video a month for them, a route that never goes up anywhere else. And that over time, I hope that will increase. Researching it, the research says that potentially about 5 to 10% of an audience are prepared to pay a little bit towards it. So £2 a month gets you access to all that. Of course, most of the audience are always just going to watch it through YouTube. I mean, I don't know about you, but I hate adverts. But the reality is that's how the internet works. If you're consuming content wherever it is, and you're going, oh, all these annoying adverts, the adverts are what's paying for it. So just bear that in mind. So that's one way of it makes money. So from YouTube, from Patreon. Also, if you visit the website, you'll notice down the side of the page, there are links through to sites where they sell the sort of stuff that walkers and runners might like. So sports shoes, Wiggle, that sort of stuff. If you follow those links and buy stuff, then I get a small commission. Doesn't cost you anything at all, but because you followed the link, it's that produces some revenue for me. What else? Other ways to make money. I suppose if the channel were to get large enough, I could get money from sponsorship. Got to be honest, I'm not very keen on that idea. Any content I create is genuine. I can't be doing with all that sort of rubbish. I wouldn't feel comfortable. It would feel like I was lying to you, and stuff that's just not relevant. So sponsors, but yeah, I mean, maybe one day you get to the point where you get someone who runs a pub in a beautiful little village somewhere. It says, will you come to my village and feature my pub and I'll sponsor that video? Yeah, I could do that. So who knows, maybe one day. So yes, but it's really down to how many people are watching the videos, really. And the more people who watch, the more time I'll be able to spend doing Run Adventure and the further I'll be able to travel. So the dream, the pipe dream, is one day to be able to travel with Run Adventurer, to be able to, run up onto a glacier, along the side of a volcano, or down the coast in the Mediterranean, or up in the mountains in Switzerland, whatever. That's the dream. Whether that ever happens, I don't know. But yeah, aim for the stars. If you get to the moon, you've done well. But I say whatever happens, I'm just going to keep doing it because I love doing it. Exploring all these new places is just such fun. Okay, so let's look forward to 2023. What's coming next? Okay, so I've got one race down on the calendar. I'm not massively big into racing. Yeah, if I was super fast, then I can see the appeal. I'm also a really quite quiet, introvert sort of person. I don't really like a large crowd. So yeah, but yeah, now it is good to have a couple of races in your diary just to keep you focused. So the race I've pegged in my diary this year is Manvers Dusk Till Dawn in July, which I've run once before. Basically, it's a 3-mile loop around a nature reserve, and you complete as many loops as possible between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. So it's it suits an older runner because we've had a long time to train, so we have the endurance, and also we're quite, when you get old, you get quite stubborn. So but it is a real challenge, and it's very tempting to go whizzing off at the start and then by 10 o'clock be out of juice. And so, I'll probably follow a walk-run approach for that, to keep going all night. Also, it is quite difficult when it goes dark. It's harder to run out in the dark, and then the sun will come up, and then all of a sudden you'll discover you've got a little bit left in the bank. So that should be fun. What else is coming? I really want to continue my coastal adventure. I'm loving that. That's just so special. So I've got as far down as Whistling Sands near Aberdaron in North Wales. And so I booked an Airbnb. It's my birthday later in the month. And so I booked an Airbnb for my birthday. I'm going to head back down there and carry that on. Just hoping the weather's going to be all right for mid-January. Yeah, we'll see. But I want to do some more of that, and it might not all be completely joined up, because I may do some of the stuff. I started in Prestatyn, and I've worked my way all the way down to the end of the Clyn at this point. But I might do some in the other direction as well. So, Prestatyn through to Chester. I've already done some sections out towards Liverpool and from Thornby. So I will do some of that as well, because it's easy to get to. More of the same, exploring new places. I just love going and exploring new places. So I will be travelling a little bit further this year, hopefully, because hopefully the monetisation will mean I can actually have got the money to travel a little bit further. So north of Liverpool, around Manchester, down towards Birmingham a bit. Who knows? I've got a huge list with just the places I've already written down. I could be at it for years. I'd love to be able to do it full time, to be honest with you. So what else coming up this year? I'm trying to coax Mrs. Run Adventurer out, because if I'm going to spend more time doing it and travelling eventually, it would be nice to get her involved, whether I can get her in front of the camera. But it would allow us to do a couple of different styles of video as well. So going and visiting a place and looking around the place, as well as the running videos when I'm there. Perhaps also doing some walking videos where where you've got two people. So maybe, I don't know. I'm trying. Some would say very trying. So that's that. Let's look back now at 2022. I've just had such a fantastic year. I put up a little playlist of some of my favourites from 2022, but frankly, they're just all great. But there's a playlist there. Go and check it out. That'd help with the watch hours, by the way. I put a little montage together of the places we visited in 2022. So have a look. Oh, you're back. Did you enjoy that? Again, thank you so much for supporting Run Adventurer. Keep watching. Tell your friends. Okay, I've got something to talk to for just part of the audience now. So, did you watch that last clip and it touched you deeply? You can't quite put into words why, but it did. I'm talking to the people who suffer with anxiety or depression and have found that watching Run Adventurer has, eased their anxiety, that it's helped them discover that going out for a walk and getting out into the countryside makes them feel better. And I know that there are a few of you because you've reached out to me and told me that it's helped you. And I'm deeply touched by that. And frankly, that, if I needed any reason whatsoever to do Run Adventurer, the idea that it could help people, that's beyond my wildest dreams, frankly. So I'm talking specifically to you now. I'll talk a little bit about me, because you're clearly looking at the world through the same lens that I am. And so the rest of you, thank you. Off you trot. This last bit is just for you guys. So if it's touching you deeply and you do suffer with anxiety or depression, then I'm guessing you may be an introvert like me. You might be, a more empathic sort of person. You are more of a touchy-feely sort of person. There's still one of those, an ESTJ watching. Off you go. Okay, so yes, as I said, I was a quiet kid. I've always been sort of outside society, really, looking in at it. Never really fit in, ever. And and I do have suffered with anxiety and depression, which is why I run, which is one of the reasons why doing Run Adventure is so great for me. I mean, getting out into the countryside makes me feel better. Running makes me feel better. And so doing Run Adventurer, never mind you, it's making me feel better too. So, so how to... Yeah, so let's talk about personality types. I'm an INFP. I don't know if you've looked at personality types. It's quite interesting, really, particularly if you are an introvert or an empath and want to understand how you see the world, and also to understand how other people see the world, because if you don't quite fit in, it's a bit puzzling, really, trying to understand how other people see the world. And so by using this approach, you can get an understanding of your strengths, your weaknesses, and how other people, look at the world. So what is this? I'll put a link in the description through to, a place where you can do a quiz, which will then tell you what sort of personality type you have. Okay, so there are 16 personality types, and there's 4 different aspects. Now, so for instance, the first one is, are you introvert or are you extrovert? Now, to say that you're an introvert, does that mean you can't have extrovert characteristics? No, it just means it's your tendency. It's another one, the way you make decisions with your head and your heart, for instance. Just because you tend to make decisions with your head, say, does not mean you can't make decisions with your heart. It's just the way you tend to lean. So for me, let's use me as a case study. I'm an INFP. So they're dreamers. They are introverts. They live a life in their imagination. They don't quite fit in. Some examples of some INFPs. J.K. Rowling, what's his name? Tolkien. Lots of famous writers, actually, because they're quite introverted and they live in their own imagination, they make good writers or artists. They're dreamers, they're creatives, they like to create stuff, not to say, hey, look how good I am. It's more to do with wanting to their life to have some sort of higher purpose. So they'll explore different types of, writing. They'll try writing and art and music and all sorts of different creative things to try and find something that gives their life some sort of higher purpose. So yeah, run adventurer. Yeah, that's one of the reasons it's so important to me. Okay, so let's go through the personality type. First parameter, introvert or extrovert, I or E. So yeah, so if you're an extrovert, then being in a group of people is energizing, gives you energy, you enjoy that. Whereas for an introvert, being in a group of people is exhausting. Small talk is exhausting. You can do it, but you need time to recover afterwards. Okay, so that's the first parameter. The next parameter is N or S. So S-types they take in the world using their senses. What they see, what they hear, what they touch. That's how they form their view of the world. And so they're more literal, more logical, more analytical. Whereas N-types are intuitives. So rather than looking at, so say for example, someone's talking to me, it's not so much what they're saying, it's the way they're saying it. I'm looking for undercurrents, I'm looking for patterns. Yeah, so an S-type might look at a door and they see a door. An N-type will look at a door and see 1,000 leering faces looking back at them out of the wood grain. So that's the second parameter. The third parameter is how you make decisions. Which is F or T types. So the T types make decisions with their head. They weigh up the information they have and they make a decision logically. Whereas the F types tend to make decisions with their heart. Yes, that's got me in trouble over the years a few times. But it's just useful to know these things so you know how you function by default. And the final is P or J. So the J types are judgmental. They have a set of beliefs that they believe in, and it's right or it's wrong, and people who don't follow what they think is right are wrong as far as they're concerned. Whereas the intuitives, which is what I am, the perceiving type, what I am, they look at the world and go, I've not got any clue what's going on. None of us does. We're all born into it, and no one's got an idea what the blinking heck's going on. We just try and muddle our way through it. And so when you come along against somebody who has a different opinion to you, you try and listen to what they have to say, because what do you know? Your view might be wrong, so you try and listen to what they have to say and you go with the flow. There are limits to that, obviously. People who are just repeating the same old dogma, particularly if it's offensive and hurts people, I won't listen to it. I'll keep away from them, frankly. So that's it. And I'm an INFP. And so and the reason I'm talking about that relating to stress and anxiety and depression is that having that personality type can cause anxiety and depression. So, as I said, the strengths of being an INFP is that you are creative. They make good mediators as well, because they aren't judgmental and aren't prepared to listen to people. They make good mediators. But there is a downside to it, a darker side to it. And that is they tend to, they avoid conflict, can't stand conflict. And so they just, if someone attacks them, they just won't say anything. And so if somebody is being nasty to you and you just internalize it, that leads to depression. And also it can lead to an anxiety, both, frankly, depending how deeply the person hurts you. So that's just worth noting, that you tend to do that, and it's not good. And it is, so for me, it's taken me a long time to learn this, but I have to be more assertive, so that when somebody says something nasty to me, I have to say, look, I'm sorry, that really hurt me. This is with the people you deal with all the time. So for me, one of the coping mechanisms I've always had, one, anxiety. Running reduces the stress hormone cortisol. And so I run to make myself feel better. Yeah, so I run to reduce my stress hormones. Also, honestly, by being more assertive and telling people when they hurt you, most of the time they were completely unaware that they were hurting you, and immediately stop when they realise that they were. Another coping mechanism I have is just to avoid, one, I'm being self-employed. By being in control, that helps. Also, which again is why Run Adventure is so important to me, making it work. Another thing is just to avoid, there are the people that cause anxiety and depression for you. It's just to steer clear of them. Bless them, let them go on with their lives. But if it's causing you pain, stay away from them. So I'm talking about the bullies, the manipulators, the narcissists. When you find these people and you recognise that they are doing these things to you and it's hurting you, you just close the door and walk away. So, keep watching Run Adventure videos if it's making you feel better. Get out into the countryside on your own and recharge your batteries. That will make you feel better. For those of you who are really depressed, I have been really depressed in the past. Thankfully, I'm not now, but I do remember a time when I was in a dark, dark hole that you barely see light at the top of. And I would find going out for a long, long time, walking, running, that was the only time it lifted me out of that hole. You went flying back into it afterwards, but at least you got a little bit of respite from it. So, yeah, keep watching Run Adventurer, get out into the countryside, and go and have a look at your personality type and learn your strengths and your weaknesses and develop some coping mechanisms so that to make your life a little easier. Anyway, that's it. Keep watching Run Adventurer, and I wish you all the best for 2023. Take care, folks. See you next time.